Great. So, Samson, thank you very much. Let me begin by saying that I think people got me wrongly from the beginning by saying that we do not have any challenge with oral. In fact, we support that process because the fight against corruption in this dispensation, particularly with the 1992 Constitution, has not inured to the benefit of the citizen. And so for us in the anti-corruption civil society space, we support oral 110%. However, we say that the way it's being rolled out is the key challenge. And if we do not take time, we will raise people's expectations. And when it comes to dealing with the legalities of the issues, then people will begin to say, oh, this government, after all, has disappointed us again. I say so because we've seen it happen over and over and over again. In 2017, we had a committee set up to do special audits of the previous government, NDC's stewardship, particularly when it comes to procurements, big procurements at the time. And we all know the result of that. A lot of issues, underhand dealings, we had illicit things happening, and it was one of the key things that led to the Auditor General, former Auditor General, who is part of this team today, being kicked out. We cannot run away from that. So we learn lessons from the past to shape our way. If we do not learn those lessons, we had the allegations of people creating vehicles to be able to benefit from that scheme at the time. And so today, if we want to we have put a very laudable process in place that we want to recover all stolen assets. Exactly the case, and it is very credible that we want to see that happen. We cannot sit there and say that we don't want to have that happen, but we know that we are a people ruled by law. We are a people who are supposed to know. For instance, if you take the Whistleblower Act, it is not every issue that would qualify as a whistleblower complaint if we deal with it the way we are going. Because we have confidentiality issues within there. You go to SHRAJ, and I heard the SHRAJ commissioner say, when they pick the information, whichever information they bring, and it is within their remit, then they will deal with it. That is instructive. Because we know that whistleblower, it must be confidential, because we have replications for...
So SHRAJ is supportive of oral?
Oh yes, yeah. we all are supportive of oral, but not of the vehicle it is being pushed through. That we must all agree, that we need to rethink. And again, I believe that maybe we will be the only ones to say that we should let our institutions work. I have heard arguments like the OSP's office is a lame duck one. The OSP's office does not have the independence to be able to prosecute the agenda of oral as it is. SHRAJ has not administratively been able to do much of that as well in the past. But something...
I thought rather that many are pointing to OSP, that you gotta give it to OSP. Don't go to Attorney General.
That is what we are saying.
OSP, you can trust them.
And the arguments are, this morning I heard on TV3 that we are saying the institution should be allowed to work. But they have seen that the OSP has not been able to do much. And even in his own lamentations, he says he's not been given the independence to do so. And so for a government that is incoming, which is committing to fight corruption, it is my belief that this is the time for His Excellency President Mahama to show that independent, give it to them, that I am giving you this space. Please take it, and within 1 year, 2 years, I want to see this agenda.
I've heard Samuel Kute to stress that they will empower OSP the more and financially.
Exactly. So why do we have this? You see, I tend to, Samson, I tend to believe that when we have done things in the past which have not been beneficial to our democracy, we shouldn't be encouraging to do same. You know, you remember the citizens vetting committees.
Right.
And the way it went on.
There are people who miss those committees.
They missed them, but we decided to go past that. We are in a constitutional dispensation. And for me, even with the committee, we have also said that we do not have any challenge with it, but the way it is being done, going into the media space and receiving complaints, then validates the thinking that we are going the militant way, and that is not what we want.
The footage you just saw somewhere, I think you saw, did we bring you a bit of the EC office? So from Obuasi East, where the NPP MP has been declared, we heard of the Tema Central. It looks like that place to Ibi Bright will give way for the NPP's candidate, but it has stalled because Roxanne Nelson Dafiamapo decided to boycott the process on grounds of law, he says, because the order of the judge is not being complied with. And then, as we understand, Arnaud Dompre in Sawama Doajiri appears to have been declared. This process has been over, and he has been declared as a winner for that constituency. They have people saying this is wisdom. He's a lawyer. He says, Senior, on the matter of the legal framework for the preparatory team, I ask if Imani or Occupy Ghana or any CSO had decided by itself to gather information or evidence which they intend to hand over to the state institutions, would they need a legal framework for their composition? I think GII...
We have an ELAC. We have an advocacy and legal advice center that gives opportunity for victims and witnesses of corruption
to blow the whistle.
To blow the whistle and make their complaints. And something, you know how we are navigating this space because of the legal challenge. We have put in place an MOU with the state investigative institutions and anti-corruption institutions. And we set up a steering committee that meets on a quarterly basis to assess some of the complaints that have come in. And so that's why I continue to say that the Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa, who has my number, could have consulted earlier, because there are ways of navigating the legal hurdles that we have.
They have announced.
And the ELAC is doing very well.
Already, people willingly are taking things to them.
But then it becomes a challenge.
Some say, like you hear him, he has this refrain that sunshine is the best disinfectant.
It is.
So that they are taking it and they are passing it on, but they are providing a certain buffer of pressure on the institutions that have failed us over this period, to make sure that once the public knows through oral that you have been giving this matter, you have to pursue it.
I'm saying that is, it is, I don't know what to say, but then I believe that whatever happens, as you talked about in the Bible, John 1:5 talks about, and the light shined and the darkness could not comprehend it. So that is one of the things we want to see. However, we say that whoever has an issue, please make a complaint to the special prosecutor. And above that, we have said that oral can only succeed if we make the legal hurdles we have currently. Remove them, or we make them go away. And we are in such a good place to do so, because Honorable has said that they have a supermajority. So for us, number one, the restrictions in the law, which makes corruption itself a narrow offense, should be expanded.
All right.
We cannot do much without that.
Is the other part that Vomo came into this studio today